In real-world experience. You know he didn't grow up rich because his father was a journalist. Our leader will unite a diverse conservative family to make life more affordable for families. We will stand up for freedom of speech, of conscience, and free votes for Member of Parliament. He may not look as good in a boxing ring, but our leader will always be on your side.
Fraternity of presiding officers, I too can offer my congratulations to the new official opposition.
Mr. Speaker, it is with great sadness that I learned of the tragedy in the United Kingdom last week. On the heels of the attack of the Parliament in the United Kingdom in March, this new terrorist attack in Manchester specifically targeted the young, the defenceless, the innocent. Canada stands firmly with the United Kingdom and the British people during these difficult times, and we will continue to fight against terrorism and violence in all its forms. As Chair of the Canada-United Kingdom Interparliamentary Association, and on behalf of our members in this House, I extend my deepest condolences to our colleagues in the United Kingdom and to those they represent. I think I speak for all of us in this House when I say that our thoughts and our prayers are with the families and friends of all those affected by this heinous terrorist attack.
Questions orales, oral questions. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Speaker, when I was younger, I remember families like mine who had to deal with the disastrous policies of the 1970s. In less than 2 years, this Prime Minister is clearly leading Canada in the same direction with irresponsible decisions, higher debt, and higher taxes. As the Prime Minister is much older than me, he must remember this difficult time. Can the Prime Minister then please explain why his policies are hurting young people and all those that this government claims it's helping? The Honourable Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I would like to say welcome to the new official opposition leader. I am certain that all the members of this House wish him success. And with that, I would like to say that our plan is a plan that will help Canadians with high levels of growth. The last trimester is the best trimester in 6 years. Lower unemployment than 10 years ago. It's important to continue with our plan. The Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
Speaker, if the Prime Minister doesn't think that there's something wrong, that shows just how out of touch he is. His misguided economic policies are hitting people hard right now. He's hiking payroll taxes, making it harder for young people and new entrants into the workforce to find jobs. He's made it harder to save for retirement. He's nickel and diming Canadians on everything from textbooks to bus passes. Why can't the Prime Minister understand that this high tax, high spending agenda hurts the very people that he claims to help? Honourable
Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, now in English. I'd like to welcome the member of as the new leader of the official opposition. I know I can speak for people in this House that we look forward to working with him in the years to come. I do want to say that it's important that he started out with a question on economics. We know that the program that we've put in place is really making an important difference for Canadians. We've seen 250,000 net new full-time jobs in Canada. We know that our level of economic growth, the last quarter, has been the best in 6 years. So, Mr. Speaker, our program is working, it's helping Canadians, and we look forward to continuing it.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, it's hard to exaggerate just how out of touch this Prime Minister is with the lives of Canadian families. He thinks you help the middle class by buying Broadway tickets for Wall Street big shots. He thinks you help the middle class by hiking taxes on kids' sports, on their music lessons, and on public transit. Can the Prime Minister explain exactly how higher taxes will improve the lives of hardworking Canadians and how hard it will be for future generations to pay back the borrowing that they're racking up?
Honourable Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I want to be clear. The very first thing we did was lower taxes on middle-class Canadians. What we know for sure is that for the average family, they're paying $540 less in taxes. For the average individual, $330 less in taxes. And that, together with other issues like the Canada Child Benefit, that's helping 9 out of 10 families, is helping Canadians to succeed with our policies.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, last week the Prime Minister once again reduced Canada's commitment to the fight against ISIS. For no apparent reason, Canada's contribution of surveillance aircraft was quietly cut in half. Even though he was at NATO bragging about Canada's commitments, the truth is that the Liberals are happy to let others do the heavy lifting when it comes to fighting radical terrorism. Can the Prime Minister name even one NATO ally who asked us to cut our contribution to the war against ISIS?
Honourable Minister of National Defence.
Mr. Speaker, very proud of the work of the commitments that we have made by increasing the ground forces that has a direct impact on the ground, the intelligence contributions that we have made, the Roll 2 hospital that we have put in place, having a direct impact on the ground, Mr. Speaker. And I can assure you, when I was at the counter-Daesh meeting, that's exactly what we talked about. And we will always continue to revamp our commitments to making sure that we are going to be a viable and credible partner to this coalition. Thank you.
Leader of the Opposition.
Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Speaker, under this Prime Minister, Canada is not back in the world. It is absent. Canadian surveillance aircraft are world leaders, and our allies need them. The Manchester attacks proves that radical terrorism is a very real threat for Canada and its allies. Can he name just one of our allies who agrees with our decision to leave the fight against ISIS?
Minister of National Defence.
Mr. Speaker, as I stated, we increased our contribution to the fight against Daesh within Iraq by tripling our trainers, doubling the intelligence, Mr. Speaker. And we review our missions every single year to making sure that we remain a credible partner. That's exactly what we're doing, Mr. Speaker, to making sure that we take the time to consult with our allies, to making sure we have the right resources in place. That's exactly what we did when we put the Roll 2 hospital in, Mr. Speaker. And this is one of the reasons we're actually having an impact on the ground today. Thank you.
Honourable Member for London Fanshawe. Order.
The Liberals' privatization bank was hastily put together and aims to help corporations, not Canadians. The Liberals promised transparency and accountability. They promised to do politics differently. Well, here's their chance to prove it. Will the Liberals come clean and admit that their infrastructure bank will mean user fees and tolls on hard-working Canadians?
Honourable Minister of Infrastructure and Communities.
Mr. Speaker, we consulted our municipalities, provinces, territories before the creation and introduction of the legislation for the creation of the infrastructure bank. What we heard from our partners that despite our historic investment that we're making in infrastructure, there will still remain infrastructure deficit. So we want to mobilize private capital to ensure that our municipalities that need the infrastructure, they have the infrastructure to grow our economy, create jobs for the middle class, and opportunities for those who work hard and each and every day to be part of the middle class. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Rosemont-la-Petite-Patrie. Mr. Speaker, we learn more and more every day about the Infrastructure Privatization Bank. We already knew that people are going to have to pay user fees.